Aaron Kampman, let's hear from you
Yeah.
first. Share some thoughts about the news.
Well, it was surprising. Got a phone call, and it was from Sam, and he said that he might have some exciting news with the Packers Hall of Fame. So I was hopeful it wasn't an invitation to a cruise or something. Uh, but then we had the phone call, and yeah, was really just excited, very honored to be part of this, to be part of the Hall of Fame. Frankly, something I was not expecting, and very, very honored to be receiving this award. So,
All right, thanks, Aaron. And
but
Clay, similar thoughts from you on receiving the news and what it
Sure.
means.
Yeah, I had just been up there for Jordy and Josh's enshrinement this past year. That was my first time attending a Packers Hall of Fame enshrinement, and it was just an outstanding evening. It really showed the connectivity between everyone there, the emotions, and how much of a family atmosphere it was. So to piggyback on that and get this call, I was really excited. And to hear, I'd be going in with Aaron as well, somebody who we overlapped, even if it was for a short time, somebody who's very deserving. I think it's outstanding. So I couldn't be more honored. You think of the history of the Packers and everybody who has been here before us, and to now have our names be in the same breath as those other players and coaches and management and whatnot. It's truly special.
Well, thank you, Clay. And at this point, we'll open it up for questions. Go ahead and raise your hand, and we'll call on you. And let's do this. We'll open it up with Mike Spofford from Packers.com. Mike.
Hey guys, congratulations, both Aaron and Clay. I wanted to start with a question for Aaron. You came in as a fifth round draft pick, not a whole lot of fanfare and whatnot with your draft selection. When did you kind of, I guess, figure out that you could be pretty good in this league? I mean, at what point did you feel it kind of clicked for you that you could become the player that you did become?
that's a great question. I guess I always believed I could be a really good player. A funny story. Early in my career, they when we set out the third down pass rush depth chart, I remember that I thought maybe I'd be the second, maybe third team. I actually wasn't even on the depth chart to start things out. So that gave me a little indication about where I was starting. And so it was a lot of hard work and dedication to be able to do some of the things that I was fortunate to be able to do. But I always believed that I had that opportunity to be an every down defensive end, and thankful for that opportunity. So I would say somewhere for me in my career, it probably happened when Jim Bates came as a defensive coordinator. We just started to play a little bit different defense at that time, which allowed me to get a little wider and start to rush a little bit differently. And so that's when I think I had more opportunities to get on the field and to rush and to show some of that ability.
Mike, any follow-up?
I'll just throw one at Clay as well. Clay, you came in as a first round pick, obviously, but you weren't in the starting lineup right away, if I recall. Was that something that motivated you at all, or just how did things kind of get going for you your rookie year? Because once you got going, you really took off.
Yeah, I think it really goes back to my senior year in college. It was such a whirlwind to go from walk on and special teams player to playing late in fourth quarters of blowouts to all of a sudden starting, for a Rose Bowl championship team my senior year. So coming in, I didn't know what to expect, but I do remember showing up, and it was Aaron Kampman and Jeremy Thompson, and both those guys are like 6'5", 6'6". They're 260. I remember calling home to my dad thinking, I don't know why they drafted me here. So to me, I didn't know what to expect, but ultimately, with the tutelage of Kevin Green and kind of instilling those fundamentals and the little things that he used to talk about. I think that set me up for immediate success, on top of, growing up in a football family, understanding what was going to be required and asked of me. I think it was just, a perfect medley of everything that led to immediate success.
All right, Clay, thanks for that. Lance Allen, you're up next.
Hey, congratulations to both of you guys, and well earned and deserved. Clay, I'll start with you. Is today a moment when you think of the late great Kevin Green telling you it is time in that Super Bowl and making a play like that kind of cemented your lore in Packers history?
Yeah, I think this, the further I get away from the game, the further I appreciate my career, what I was able to accomplish, the people who I had played with, the locker room, everything that comes along with playing this great game. And one of them being Kevin Green and what he meant for my career, especially early on. And you look at that Super Bowl as well, and, him kind of taking me under his wing and kind of putting the moment in perspective when Charles goes down. I think we're heading into the fourth quarter, Pittsburgh starting to take the momentum. So stuff like that it's awesome, for lack of a better term, especially for it to be captured on video. Still to this day, when I watch that clip, I get goosebumps just because of, playing there in my second year, thinking we're going to win a Super Bowl each and every year after that, and recognizing how difficult it is at this point. So to win that game, to make a play like that on that stage, and in hindsight, understand what a great moment that was and will be, it really puts it all in perspective.
And if I may, Aaron, I've gotten to know you on and off the field. Like, what drove you? I mean, obviously you're a multifaceted guy. What drove you to be the best and as good as you became in a Hall of Famer?
Well, that's a long question. What what drove me? Well, that goes all the way back. I'll probably talk about that when I go in. But really, I came from a small town, and the work ethic there was instilled in me at a young age. And so, that was something that exemplified itself all the way through my career. I wanted to be the best. Being a 10-year-old, I had a dream that I wanted to play in the NFL. And that was something that I was very fortunate to be able to do, with the help of a lot of people, a lot of coaches, a lot of mentors, a lot of leaders along the way. And so, but yeah, it was a tremendous ride. It's one of the best things about this actually opportunity is to reflect a little bit. My wife and I have had some wonderful conversations since that initial phone call, just thinking about the great time, the great season of life that we had in Green Bay. We look back on those memories with a lot of fondness. 3 of our 4 children were born there. So it was a great time in our lives.
It was an honor to cover both of you. Thank you.
Thanks, Lance.
All right, next we'll go to Wes Hodkowitz from Packers.com. Wes.
Hey, congrats, gentlemen. Clay, good to see you again. I wanted to ask you quickly. I know going back at the inside linebacker stuff in the middle of your career, the fact that you were able to be both an all-pro outside and inside, I know as difficult as that was at the time, what did you prove to yourself with that? And what do you think it did for your legacy, being able to be as versatile as you were throughout the course of your career?
Well, for me, I always felt like I could do it all. And I say that with humility. I felt like I could play the run, I could rush the passer, I could guard tight ends, slot receivers, whatever it is. I took a lot of pride in being able to do it all, not just being a one-trick pony. So when they asked me to switch, it definitely caught me off guard. But I felt comfortable, and there was almost immediate success when I switched over, I think, for that Sunday or Monday night game against Chicago. Just from my background of playing a stack backer, 3-4, 4-3, I was a student of the game and understood where the guys in front of me fit. And so I wasn't too surprised. Selfishly, I love sacking the quarterback, so I lost a few opportunities in that regard. But I think the impact that putting me there created for our defense obviously helped propel us to that NFC Championship game that unfortunately we came up short with. But for me and my legacy, that I guess that's yet to be determined for, however people feel about it. But yeah, you definitely, you bring up a good point. You look around the league and you look at, either sack masters or inside linebackers, and very rarely do you find somebody who can do it both. So I took a lot of pride in that, and I wanted to be the best, much like Aaron had said. And whether that was inside backer, outside, rushing the passer, playing the run, you name it, I wanted to succeed, and fortunately had that success for those 2 or 3 seasons that I was switched inside.
And Clay, if I can ask one follow-up too with that, with everything your dad did, your uncle, your cousins, everybody, what did it mean to you to kind of have your own piece of that as well and being able to kind of create your legacy, despite having all those expectations coming into the NFL?
Yeah, one of the great things about my father and my family specifically is that they didn't push the game of football on me. I think personally, my greatest role model is my father. So growing up, I wanted to be just like him, whether it was playing football in the backyard, in the cul-de-sac. You guys know my story. I went and walked on at USC. So I wasn't thinking I need to create this legacy and I need to become somebody because of my name and who came before me. But it just so happened to unfold that way. But I think a lot of it is due to what I had previously said. That's just growing up with the values that were instilled in us from an early age. And it transcended football, but obviously it paid dividends in the game of football. So, like I said, I'm at peace with my career, my legacy, what I did. And if my son Clay the Fourth doesn't want to play football, then so be it. So, as far as filling big shoes and a last name that is kind of synonymous with the NFL, I was at peace with, and I'm sure my parents and everybody who came before me, as long as we, gave it all our all and we're successful at it.
All right, thanks. Next, we'll go to Fago Franklin III from New Stitch Media, who's got a question for Clay.
Clay, what were some of your favorite memories playing for this franchise? And if you were still playing today, what advice would you give Jordan Love about, overcoming the tough times that he's having right now?
I mean, there's so many great times that we had. I know, everybody wants to hear, when we won the Super Bowl or big upsets, when we came back from the Bears, stuff like that. But it's cliche to say, but it's the locker room. It's the fact that you can bring guys from all walks of life, from Southern Florida to the Pacific Northwest, from LA to New York, and come together for a common goal and cause. And it's really cool to see. And that's one of the things I miss, is just kind of going in there each and every day and hanging with the guys. So, the memories we made, obviously playing games, that'll last forever. But what I miss the most is the locker room. It's like I said, it's cliche, but it's true. And as far as advice for Jordan, I don't know. I've got nothing for him. I watch the Red Zone, so they usually come on in the fourth quarter when they start scoring some points. But he's it's his first year starting. Obviously, he sat behind Aaron, and I think Packers fans in general have been spoiled with the decades of excellence at the quarterback position. So we'll just see. We'll see when he comes into his own, if he comes into his own. But you look around the league at young quarterbacks, it's hard to kind of find that spark, that immediate success from quarterbacks. So I think you got to give him time, and there's some growing pains. And I'm sure the same was with Brett when he came in, and Aaron after him.
All right, thanks for that question. Next, we're going to go to Rich Ryman with the Green Bay Press Gazette. Rich.
Congratulations to you both. What are you guys doing now in your post-football career? We'll start with Aaron. Let him get a word or two in.
Yeah, I work with a leadership development company that I started about 7 years ago called The Line. That's where I spend the majority of my time. And then actually, we just got done with the high school football season. So I've coached for the last decade as an assistant on our staff as well. So that's how I spend my time.
Clay?
Yeah, well, Aaron, I just got into coaching too. I was my first year as a T-ball coach. So we were undefeated according to my son. So that's fantastic. But other than that, my retirement has been fairly recent. I think this might be my 4th year out. And it's been kind of nice. I've just kind of picked up where I wasn't present at the time, where my wife had been picking up all the slack with helping raise the children and whatnot. So now I've got 3 young kids, and getting them off to school, helping them with homework, dinner time, bedtime, you name it. We've also have since relocated from Southern California to outside of Nashville, Tennessee. So, and we are enjoying that move as well. So ultimately, I say this to the people close to me, that I've been busier than ever, not playing football anymore, obviously, than I was when I was playing, but just raising a young family and trying to do it the right way.
Well, thank you for those answers. Anyone else, members of the media on the call? Any other questions out there? All right, Mike Spofford with the follow-up. Mike.
Hey, Aaron, I just wanted to follow up with you. I mean, you had obviously some big seasons here. You guys came up just a little bit short in 2007. What I guess, what is your fondest memory of your career? What do you take the most pride in, whether it be a certain performance or a certain game or a certain season? Like what sticks in your mind the most from your time on the field?
Yeah. Time on the field. It's hard to, Clay mentioned it a little bit ago. It's difficult to just isolate the specific moments. There were obviously some big wins, big moments that you personally have, where you have a battle where you're trying to, you're injured during the week and you don't know if you're going to be able to play, and you can able to, help and contribute to the team's victory. Those are all moments that you think about, but nothing specifically that I say that was it. That was the spot. What I remember the most about just our time in Green Bay was the people. It really was the people, the support staff, obviously the teammates and coaches, the community members. We did our best. My wife and I, we did our best to try to be part of that community, and really enjoyed it. When I was coming out of Iowa, I had pre-draft visits to the New York Jets, to San Diego, and to Green Bay. And we've both reminisced, my wife and I, about what life may have looked like if we would have ended up on one of the coasts. And so we're very blessed and fortunate that Green Bay was the spot for us. So I know that doesn't answer the 2007, that was great. We were interception short from going to the Super Bowl and having an opportunity to play the Patriots. But that wasn't in the cards for that year. And that actually obviously generated what, transpired then with the changing of the quarterbacks. Yeah,